Hello, it is Alt 98.7. My name is Harms, and we are here with Dan from the band Bastille. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks, man.
I will say this before we get started on a couple of things. You are an extraordinarily humble and self-deprecating guy. You'd cut that shit out for this interview.
Okay, cool. Right.
Absolutely.
I'm a fucking rock star.
Yeah, exactly. I need you to just strut on in here and just own these director's chairs.
Right.
The band's been doing something pretty cool recently. Well, we're going to talk about the new song and the new record and all this in just a little bit, but first I wanted to hit on this phone number that has been posted on the website.
Yes.
A phone number where allegedly people can call
Yeah.
and get you directly.
Yeah.
Is that true, and how has this been going?
It's completely true. It's been really fun. Quite a nice way to sort of, I don't know, I guess we've been away making a record for 5 months, and in a way it's nice for us to remember that there are people around the world that kind of give a fuck.
Yeah, they do.
But also it's just really nice to sort of, I don't know, there's something really strange about making music in your bedroom or in like a little studio and then you release it, and obviously when we play shows it's kind of overwhelming how many people come along, and that's amazing, but you don't often get to speak to them and sort of find out a bit about their lives. I think it's just it's been like a really nice fun thing to do. The idea came from, there's like a little bit of a very subtle 90s rave throwback thing across the record, and something that used to happen in the UK rave scene like way before my time, but they used to sort of do these big raves, these sort of like secret last-minute raves, like in the middle of the countryside or in warehouses, like in the middle of nowhere. And they put out a phone number that you'd call and get the address, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And people would you get the coordinates and you just rock up, and there'd be a huge party in the middle of nowhere. And I just quite liked that idea, and we thought just riffing on that, it would be a fun thing to do.
What kind of conversations have you been having? I imagine they've been pretty varied.
Yeah. I mean, it completely depends on where the person's calling from. There've been, people in Australia, all over the US, like the UK, Europe, and sometimes people just want to chat. Sometimes people have something they want to say.
Yeah.
It's been. I guess it depends. I've been in the States, so just catching people at different points in their day and night, and I think the main thing seems to be they spend quite a while not believing it's me.
Yeah.
Not believing it's me. Well, yeah, so.
Well, I wanted to try something. I assume the phone just rings off the hook all of the time.
Luckily, so far, it's been that.
Do we want to try? This is live. So we don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try to answer the phone and see if we can talk to somebody. Can we put it on speaker?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hello, this is Dan. Hello, who's this?
Oh my god. Oh my god, wait. Is this really...
Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Oh my god. My name's Elsa. I'm Devon.
You're in Devon?
Devon, yeah.
Just to let you know, I'm just at a radio station in LA, and I just picked up the phone, so how you doing? You alright?
Oh my god. I can't believe it. I'm good. Oh my gosh, thank you.
That's alright. How was your weekend?
Oh, it's amazing. I did the 10 tours. I don't know if you heard of it. But 35 miles. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
Yeah, that's insane. Well done. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Oh, thank you. I love the new song, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's no worries. Look, it was really lovely to speak to you.
Oh, and you too.
Yeah, I hope you have a really good week, alright? Thanks so much for calling.
Oh, you too.
Alright, take care. Bye.
That's amazing! Oh my gosh! So that happens. That's
Yeah.
been happening now all of the time.
Should we see what the next one is?
Yeah, sure. You want to give it another shot?
Okay. See if it might be accept new call. There you go.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, this is Dan. Who's this?
Oh my god. My name is Pauline.
Oh, no. Where are you calling from?
I'm from France. I'm from Paris.
Oh, no way. How's Paris tonight?
It's great.
Amazing.
You know what? I was just really bored at work, and I kept calling, and I can't believe it picked up.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm here, and I'm just in Los Angeles at a radio station. So I just chucked you on speakerphone if that's all right. But yeah, hello. How you doing? Ça va?
Ça va et toi?
Oui, ça va, merci.
I can't wait for you to come back. I'm seeing you in Lollapalooza.
Oh, you're coming to Lollapalooza? That's such a fucking awesome festival.
Yes. Yeah, the lineup is so great.
It's really good, isn't
And
it?
also, I'm going to Lisbon
Oh, no way.
in Rio. Yes, yeah.
Nice.
I'm so excited about it. And I have to say that I saw you in Edinburgh and during the ReOrchestrated Tour. And it was just like the best concert of my life.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm so glad you got to see that show because it was obviously like, we didn't do very many of them, so I'm glad you got to be there. And look, I'm really, really sorry. I'm going to have to go, but it was so nice to speak to you. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much. I really hope to see you soon.
I'll see you soon. Have a good Monday and have a good weekend. I'll speak to you later. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
you.
Bye. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Bye. Bye-bye. There you go.
Dude, that's so
It's
cool!
nuts,
Oh
right?
my gosh!
Isn't that mad?
That's amazing. So,
There you go. Thanks, dude.
call from France.
Call from.
Where was it?
It was in Devon, which is in like, the south of England.
Okay, very cool. And this is just happening all the time. People are able to get in touch, and sometimes they get lucky and chat one-on-one.
Yeah. And because we're like, we're here for like a week,
Uh-huh.
and we just released a single, and doing sort of having chats with people and stuff just in downtime. It's just like if we're in the car and we're stuck in traffic, Bo, our manager's like, why don't you take some calls?
Cool, man.
And it's just quite a nice. Yeah, it's not as you can see. It's like it's just quite like this one guy was from Poland and wanted to talk about. We had this like, big chat about how weird it is to be a fan of a band and feel like you know them, but you know that ultimately they don't know you back. And so we had this sort of kind of philosophical debate about the meaning of being a fan of somebody. And he was like, you must know what it's like. You love those people's music and you think you know them and you listen to their lyrics and you watch their interviews. And I was like, yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, without question. Not a lot of bands. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before.
It's kind of mad how it works, isn't it?
It's amazing. Yeah. And it's just a cool thing. Wow, I'm blown away for sure. Let's talk about this music.
Okay.
'Midnight is the song that we just got. It feels like not just the beginning of a record. It feels like the beginning of a story. Is that true?
Yeah, massively. So it's like the opening track of the new record, and it sort of sets the tone at that time of night where you're kind of just falling or throwing yourself headfirst into whatever's going to happen next. And the whole record is kind of set over that time period. And it's the sort of that kind of heightened drama and emotions and sort of like life-changing stuff of avoiding reality in the nighttime and all the things that come with that.
Well, is it a concept record about a specific night in general, or just a grouping together of all sorts of different nights?
I think it's sort of, it was helpful when we were making it to loosely think about it as the story of a night out, but I didn't want that to be too restrictive. So it's not like there aren't like other than I guess me, there aren't sort of characters that keep popping up or anything. It's not like a full narrative, but there's like references to time and it's sort of like loosely structured like that. And it was just a nice way to make a record. We stopped at the end of last year. We stopped touring and went back to London and to the studio that we recently built and just camped out there for sort of 5 months and made the record. And just with that kind of idea in mind, the things we wanted to say, the kind of music we wanted to make, it's the first time we've ever stopped and like made an album in one go.
Yeah.
And it was so nice.
Good.
It was like just such a great experience.
You mentioned the studio that you built. You've also used that studio to help out other artists. There's a label now and some recording process.
Yeah.
How has that helped out with the making of Bastille's music, working with all sorts of other artists?
It's been great. Yeah, we started a record label a few years ago. The first guy whose album and EPs we released is called Rag and Bone Man. He's sort of done quite well, which is really exciting.
Heard of Rag and Bone Man.
And then we built the studio. The Wombats recorded their latest record there at the end of last year, which was really fun because they're like, they're a band that we really respect, and it was nice to have them testing the limits of what the studio can offer.
Yeah.
And then we sort of like constantly working with lots of different artists and as producers and as writers and just try to create a bit of an environment of collaboration.
For sure.
And like a nice place. We wanted because we made our first 2 records in probably a room about half the size of this space.
Which is not big.
Yeah. And it was like a windowless basement underground in London. It was fine for us, and I think I quite liked that it felt really kind of humble and a bit shit. But then we'd have other artists come in We did. We wrote and produced a song for Tears for Fears, and they came down, and they're like kind of really experienced, successful guys who are probably used to incredible studios. And
Yeah.
they sort of walked in and were like, where's the studio? Like, this is it.
I would hope that would be cool for a band like that to walk in, though, and at least take a step backwards and kind of get things back down to bare bones like that.
I mean, yeah, it was a fun week, and you know, we got a single for them out of it, which was cool. But yeah, I think it sort of made that and a few other experiences in that place, because where the studio was in the middle of this network of kind of corridors underneath I think what you guys call like projects in South London.
Sure.
So people would sort of get there. You can't drive up to it, and if they were sort of on the bigger, more successful side of things, I think they'd be just a bit like, so we're walking through the estate then. That's happening.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'd be like, I don't know. And it wasn't. Anyway, it was cool. I love that place, but we just felt like it would be nice to sort of step it up a little bit, have somewhere with a window.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's amazing what a bit of vitamin D
little
can do.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been awesome. We made the Wombats record there. We've been making new Rag and Bone Man music there. We just made our record there as well,
Cool.
and it's kind of just an exciting development for me.
Tell us about this past April, the ReOrchestrated Tour. It's something the band hadn't done before.
Yeah. So it was, we worked with our friend Johnny, who plays trumpet with us, to completely rearrange all of our songs for strings, brass, percussion, and a gospel choir.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the most amazing experience, because I love film soundtracks, I love scores, I love kind of classical music, and it was just quite a nice way to sort of to go back to our old stuff, having just made a new record, to sort of put that to one side, go back to all of our old music and just flip it on its head. You know, we started the set with Pompeii a cappella, and I think that really like showed people, okay, this is going to be a bit different.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing experience. It felt quite old school, having come off the back of like an arena run, to take a few months off, make a record, then go into a tour where it's like us and 30 musicians on a bunch of buses together. It was a lot of interesting personalities.
I imagine that's pretty fun.
It was surprisingly less dramatic than I thought it was going to be. I was like, some bad shit's going to happen, or great. I don't know. Anyway, but it was awesome and really humbling to play with actual musicians who can. It was beautiful. It was really like positive experience, and we got to play at the Royal Albert Hall in London, which is this kind of beautiful old venue that's like almost like a coliseum, and everything's red velvet.
Of course.
You're like, why the fuck are we allowed in here?
Yeah.
This is too nice. But it was awesome.
When you come with a full string section, they let you into much nicer places.
Yeah. When you've got 20 strings, they're like, yeah, you can come in. Just take your jeans off, put some like proper. I mean, we speculated, like we were like, should we do it in black tie, and then. Nah, I ended up wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah, you don't want to do that every night. That's why you got into a band in the first place.
Exactly.
Do you think as you tour behind this new record, or as you start to play these new songs live, that sort of reinterpretation will make its way into the set at all?
I think so. I think the thing I kind of realised was how much I love doing that, but I obviously also love touring. But we came from a place of playing in tiny little, in bars and pubs, and we sort of worked our way up from there. Mm-hmm. And so it was... I guess how big things got in terms of arenas is obviously amazing, but it's such a different experience, and it's made me realise, in an ideal world, I'd love to do almost touring in 3 strands, like go back and do little venues, do much bigger venues, and do this reorchestrated thing. And this was kind of a test run. I'd love to bring it to North America. I'd love to take it kind of around the world, but it's just logistically, it's a lot of people. Yeah. So we'll see. But it's something that I want to try and do again.
You mentioned your love of film and love of scores, and that is well documented, the amount of kind of pop culture references that make their way in and out of Bastille's music. Anything you're watching right now? Like, you watching Westworld?
Well, I've not seen the new season, but because in the UK sometimes our TV's like a bit...
it's the staggered schedule.
I'm really excited about the new Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah?
Yes.
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror is amazing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So have you guys had that from the very beginning?
So we got Black Mirror late. First couple seasons of Black Mirror aired in the UK. Netflix picked them up, and that's where most people got reacquainted. And now as the new seasons have been coming out.
It's so prescient though, isn't it? It's like, I mean, it is amazing to watch, but also you're just watching it sort of like...
It's terrifying.
Feeling really guilty about everything. You feel like a terrible person. Mm-hmm. And he's just, it's so like nail on the head for most things.
Well, the worst part is now stories from the first couple seasons. You see stories that are actually happening right now where there are such parallels that, again, it doesn't make you feel that great in your stomach.
No. I know it's terrifying. It makes modern society feel like a bad place to be. No, it's brilliant. I also saw Quiet Place recently. Did you see that?
No, I have not.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, no, it seems like I have a 2.5-year-old, so we don't make it to the movie theater as much as we would like.
You're not taking 2.5-year-old to
I will say
that.
that not that we want to talk about this too much, but he did just go see Isle of Dogs, the Wes Anderson.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
me too.
Loved. Yeah, it's very, very
really
good. So that sort of thing is more kind of on our agenda.
Still like quite a cool art housey film to take your 2.5-year-old to.
Well, like I said, most of it's in Japanese, which for him, most stuff seems like it's in Japanese anyway right now. So what does he care? There's a bunch of dogs on there, and he likes the music. There's a lot that we can talk about with this record. There's a lot that we cannot talk about it. Musically, how did you kind of approach this as apart from record number 1 and record number 2?
Well, record number 1, I guess a lot of people's first albums is kind of a culmination of everything you've been working on for a few years.
Yeah.
So that was how that worked, and it was made in kind of, like I said, it was a bedroom record. It was made, after work, after college, like on the weekends and stuff. Our second album was made on the road, and I think because of the success of our first album, we wanted to just try everything. So we sort of went a bit harder with rock stuff, and we went like a bit more electronic and more kind of intimate, more expansive, and we made this sort of 19-track, sprawling, film soundtracky, epic mess.
Big record.
Yeah, and then I think on this one, I think it's the first time I've really allowed us to think about or imagine that we might maybe have a career. So I was like, right, from now on, I want to do like shorter, more concise records that very much have like a feel and a stamp behind them, and then sort of put that to bed and move on to the next thing. Because like I'm fascinated by, I guess, more classic artists who have real eras to what they do. So I guess this is our attempt at doing a sort of like nighttime record. It's sort of euphoric in places and kind of very intimate in others, and it's this story. It has that kind of sound to it that sort of goes across the whole thing. Like Quarter Past Midnight is the only tune that really sounds like that on the record, but where the sort of drum fills are and that kind of like breakbeats thing, that sort of filters through the rest of the record. And,
cool.
And so I guess we were just excited to have made it, have it out really quickly, and then I guess sort of think about the next thing.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you're kind of in that weird area where the songs are done, maybe a little bit of mixing to go here and there, but for the most part that the record is done and nobody's heard it. It's kind of in that weird void area.
And so it's up to me to sort of either talk or not talk about it and try and represent it. And there's nothing weirder than having someone else describe music to you, because we all obviously interpret and articulate it completely differently. So I'll be like, yeah, it sounds really different. People are like, yeah.
We're going to trust what you say about the Bastille record, I think. Yeah, no. Cool. Well, I think we know, and if any of this is wrong, let us know, that it's coming this year, probably before November. All that stuff will be announced in due time. There will be shows coming up. Again, Quarter Past Midnight is any indication of where this band is going and what this record will be, at least in general feeling. I think we're all in a good spot. For sure.
I hope so.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Good luck with, again, everything coming up, all of which is exciting, and I'm sure we will see you very, very soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me.
It is Dan from Bastille. My name is Harms. This is Alt 987.